Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Black Energy and Truth, a podcast where we have an open discussion about problems that might seem taboo within the Black community. But guess what? This podcast is for everybody. On today's episode, we're going to have our first discussion panel, which includes 3 men and 2 women, including me. We are all in our 20s, and we're going to have a conversation about relationships and sex. So stay tuned. Okay, hi guys, welcome back to Black Energy and Truth. This was going to be a discussion panel, however, we had some technical difficulties with our guests. So we have switched it to a man, oh man segment where we have our 3 lovely gentlemen here, and we are just going to talk about the same thing, relationships and sex. So let's just start by introducing our guests. We can go around the table. Start here. Maybe just say your name, your age, and your relationship status.
I'm Marco. I'm 26 and I'm single.
I'm Vince. I'm 26 and I too am single.
I'm Justin. I'm 24 and I'm single.
And I'm Jada. I'm 23 and I'm single. And if we could start by just going around and also stating why your relationship status is that way. Is it a preference? Is it, you're just waiting on the right one? What is it? So let's start with you, Marco.
It's a newer status. So yeah, it ended like what, about 3 months ago or something like that. So, but it wasn't like it was amicable. You know what I'm saying? It was more of a cordial thing and understood that shit had to happen that way. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's kind of why. Nothing bad, but it's now it's by choice for sure. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so you're not single and looking or anything like that?
No.
All right.
For me, I've been single for a little while now. And for me, it's more of a personal, I have things that I need to work on personally before I can pursue like a serious relationship with somebody. And that's the only type of relationship I'm ever going to be in. So.
Okay.
So that's the reason I'm single now and not really looking. Am I working on myself to the best of my ability every day? No, but I'm definitely, in strides to be the best person I can be in order to be in a relationship. So.
Sounds good.
Well, me, I just got out of like a 5-year relationship.
Oh, Lord.
It was kind of tough, to be honest. It kind of fell apart, kind of ghosted each other. We really had too much communication with it. It's kind of like I said, I kind of got ghosted or whatever. But right now I am looking. It's not really like nothing really serious with me because I got things I'm trying to do myself. So it is what it is. I'm looking. If something comes, if it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Oh man, so I guess I gotta explain myself, huh?
Hold on, wait. And with that being said, just to piggyback on what they said, kind of like the work on you thing, that was kind of realized, like for both of us. Like we both kind of realized at the same time. Like at the point, like she broke up with me, but at the point when she broke up with me, it was like I realized the same kind of deal. It was like it was probably gonna happen for the both of us. You know what I'm saying? So it was like you need to work on you, I need to work on me. And instead of getting messy and start to do the tit for tat, get to the point where you can't have a conversation or dislike someone, let's just work on each other. Let's just allow you to do you, allow me to do me. And if for whatever reason somehow down the line it comes back to that, which you probably won't, but if it does, then it's that. You know what I'm saying? But moving forward, it's time to work on the individual as opposed to working on the relationship.
Okay, that makes sense. So I just want to touch on a few things that you guys said. I heard a lot of we're working on ourselves. Oh yeah, and I forgot to explain why I'm single. I'm single just due to the fact that I've been single for like about a year now. I was trying to work on myself. I think I did a decent job. I'm not really looking, but I'm open to the idea of a relationship or whatnot. But yeah, like I'm saying, I'm not looking for it or anything. I want to touch on the fact, what exactly are you guys working on? What did you learn from your last relationship? So, whoever wants to start.
I can, you go. personally, I learned that I have to communicate a lot better. Even though I'm a pretty decent communicator now, like it's levels to that shit. And excuse me, but it's levels to that. You know what I'm saying? So like when I realized like my shortcomings in a relationship, being honest with myself, I realized that I could easily have done things differently as far as letting her know my feelings about certain things, and just being straightforward about stuff when I felt it, instead of letting stuff build up to a point where like I'm frustrated and not willing to communicate, or you know what I'm saying, allowing it to come out in my actions, as opposed to just like saying it when I felt it the first time, or saying it, you know what I'm saying, or like, because a lot of times I feel like when we as men, we'll be like, man, I ain't gonna trip on it, or I'm not gonna say anything about it, hoping that, you know, it just changes naturally, hoping that, you know what I'm saying, y'all will peep it when that might not happen. And then, you know, that's frustrating after a certain while. And like I said, my communication could have been a lot better in those areas, you know what I'm saying? And just honestly, it was working on me as an individual. Like I could have been better. I could have been a better person. I could have gotten out the stuff better. Like my social status is better now. Like I'm making more money than I was, you know what I'm saying? I'm more focused than I was. And that's, like I said, I can honestly say that if I was at this point, at that point, maybe stuff would have been different. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that we should be together,
Right.
because we still got shit to work on. But like, I know that if I was at this point, at that point, when, you know what I'm saying, we were going through our, you know, our tough times, you know, who's to say? You know what I'm saying? Who's to say? Like I said, but look at this point where I am now, I know that we definitely do need this time. Like it's right. Like we're not supposed to be together right now. You know what I'm saying? But I'm definitely man enough to know that like I had shortcomings. You know what I'm saying? Like I could have been better in certain areas for sure.
Okay, that's a good point.
Basically, like I said, like everything DeMarco said, I'm on the same wave. Like going into my relationship, I thought I was beast at communication. Like I'm not lying. Like I say that when I'm serious. Like thought I was a beast at a lot of things, and after my relationship ended, I'm like, man, I'm actually horrible at this. Like there's actually, and relationship, like the end of anything is the retrospect is 2020. So you can always kind of look back and see what I could have did differently. So communication probably one of my biggest things.
To piggyback off what everybody said, I don't know if you guys want to agree or not, but I think what we can all come to an agreement on is that like the breakup was pretty much a reality check, pretty much for everybody. That's what it seems like. I know it was for me, because like I'm a real structured type of person in my relationships like that. Like I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. Like I try to keep myself in check as far as that type of stuff. But to be honest, like this breakup, it really put everything into perspective. Like shit, it's not gonna work perfectly, you know? Because the type of relationship I had, like, you know, we had that type of relationship where everybody in the world said we was gonna get married, this and that, and I believed it, she believed it, and then somehow all that fell apart. So
right, and I feel like any good man, like I was saying, in retrospect is 2020. Any good man after the end of a relationship, you're gonna look at yourself. You know, you're never just gonna be like, you know, you're always gonna look at yourself in any situation. If you're a good, you know, a good man, then you know, and figure out what you can do better in any situation.
Yeah.
That was another thing in my relationship, an issue I had, you know, trying to change somebody, whereas knowing how they were going into a relationship, you know, certain things, you know, you have to choose to accept, or, you know, or what, you know, so basically that was just another thing that I have to work on, you know, so.
Oh man.
What you got to work on?
I don't think I have to work on communication. I think communication is just like a pet peeve for me, as far as not getting the proper communication that I need. Like I see, but I'm just like, I just need clarity. Like, don't sit up here and go missing for like hours without saying something. Like, it takes one text, one call to just say, you know, I'm busy, I'm about to go and do something, I'll get back to you type stuff. But I think based off my last relationship, the only thing that I probably needed to work on is to balance being an individual. You still having your own life, still doing your own thing, but also being stable and being the proper partner within your relationship. So you have to balance your outside life and your relationship life. Me, I grew up, I think, kind of sheltered, so I really wasn't allowed to like go hang out with friends or go to parties and stuff, do that. So when it got to the point that I was finally single, I was in a 5-year relationship once. So when it got to the point where I was single, I'm like, I ain't know what to do with myself, you know. I'm just like, all right, cool, I can go out and do what I want. And I'm also grown, got my own place, yada, yada, yada. Once I got into a relationship again, I didn't want to lose that individuality. So I'm just like, yeah, I still want to do what I want to do. I know how to respect my relationship, but you're not about to tell me that I can't go out and have fun or that I'm hanging out with my friends too much. Like, I feel like I know how to balance that, but I guess not. So that's something I can work on, I guess.
Well, I feel like that's a part of communication, like because that balance, like as far as like the whole, the daily communication, that's something that I feel like that's where I have to work on stuff the most. But like the communication that you were speaking on, as far as like the balancing your social life, that's what I feel like I'm pretty damn good at. I don't feel like I struggle as much in that area. The day-to-day communication of like letting, like I said, if I'm feeling something right now, instead of like letting that fester and letting that manifest into something more, like put it on the table, like, hey, you know, you said something that like, I want to just address this right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just handle this. Like, I'm not like me. I'll tight-lip that, and then I'll be like, you know, I'll shut up, and then 15 minutes later, halfway forget about it and try to like, you know, move forward. And then if it happens again, now I'm double mad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Instead of addressing it the first time it happened, and you know what I'm saying, and not letting that be a problem again.
Yeah.
You know, I'll try, like I said, and certain things, like Vince said, like he touched on, certain things you have to learn to just accept and be like, all right, this is who this person is, and either I'm going to accept it or I'm not, and if I can't accept it, I got to move around. You know what I'm saying? And that's a part of it too. Like everything about a person you're not gonna like. So certain things I gotta accept, and I just gotta deal with. And if you can't accept and deal with, then that person is probably not for you. You know what I'm saying? That's also a tough reality, because like certain things, because like I feel like me and my ex realized that too. Like she probably realized, like she messes with me as a person. She likes me as a person. She loves me. I love her. But like certain things about me as a person, about DeMarco as a person, she can't really get with fully. You feel what I'm saying? So like, and I can respect that. Like, cause I'm a bullheaded person. I'm crazy. You know what I'm saying? So like, you might not be able to deal with me. Like he one of my best friends. He'll tell you like the same reason why people love me are probably the same reason why some people don't like me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm me. I'm me through and through. And if you can't like that, then you're not gonna like that, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to get anybody to like what they don't. I'm not like, I'm me. You know what I'm saying? I'm DeMarco. So like,
move accordingly.
Yeah, like, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? So.
All right. So our guest
I figured
just
you would.
showed up.
That's why I stopped. All
right.
I wanted to wrap my thought up. I didn't want to like end the thought up.
All right, guys. So our extra female guest just arrived. So this is back to a discussion panel. So she's just going to introduce herself. Again, name, age, relationship status, and why your relationship status is that way. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Tasha. I'm 22 and I'm single. I'm single because I choose to be.
Okay, so Marco was just basically telling us how communication. Well, I was saying why I was single and what I need to work on from my relationship as far as keeping my individuality and also being a good partner within my relationship. And he was just stating how that's basically a form of communication.
But I mean, is it always communication or is it like comprehension? Because like you can talk to a person all day.
Oh, I feel like that is a good thing too.
That's a whole nother topic. It's not even comprehension. Comprehension is like what you touched on earlier. It's the level, like the type. You have to realize how to communicate with your person. Everybody doesn't communicate the same way. It's like the love language thing. Like, what's your love? You know, like what's your person's love language?
Yeah. You
know, so like, I think that's what you mean. Like with the comprehension, like you can't communicate. You're right.
Some people communicate with like action. So like you said, some people like don't need to be talked to. Like you can talk to me till I'm blue in the face, but
gotta see
if you don't show me something, You know what I'm saying? If it's not being put out there, if I can't see the results, then it don't really matter.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So that's also a form of communication though. Like all of that is like, you know, because like I feel we focus on the big stuff too much and the little things about a person. I was watching a video about something and a guy was saying like we don't focus on the small things enough. We focus on I take care of you, I buy you stuff, or you know, I cook for you, or I clean, and like that's the big stuff, and that's the stuff that we all expect from, you know, our significant other. But the little things like are the things about like when you're upset and I don't even know you're upset and you make a face, that face you making, and I know I just need to leave you alone for 10 minutes just to let you cool down. That face is a face that it don't need to be talked about, not communicated, no words, you know what I'm saying? But like that's a face that I walk in the room and see you looking like that, I walk out the room, you know what I'm saying? And that's like difficult, you know what I'm saying? That's a difficult like level to reach with somebody.
And just to make the point, the type of person I am, I need you to communicate if you're upset. If you don't say that you're upset, I'm not going to acknowledge it. Like, and that's we're completely two different people on that point. Mm-hmm. Like, I need you to be an adult and say your feelings. To me, and if you can't,
and I agree that like you do need to communicate that with me. But I'm saying like sometimes me, for example, like sometimes it's not even like I'm upset. Sometimes I just don't want to talk. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you walk in the room and it like it's that whatever that is about someone. When I know you just don't want to talk right now. We want to talk right now. We just need to be in the separate rooms and just chilling for right now. Like I said, even if that's for 15 or 20 minutes, like that's another level of communication. And like you said, if you're upset, heck yeah, I want you to tell me like, hey bro, I'm upset. Hey, I don't want you to. That needs to be communicated, because if you're upset, that's a different level of just not wanting to be bothered and not wanting to be up under somebody for that moment. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean, as opposed to being upset. Being upset is like, nah, tell me that, because I'm not trying to read between the lines of you being upset. Like, I need to know exactly why you're upset, and so we can fix this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, some people can't, I don't know, sit with that silence. Some people can't sit with just knowing that their partner is upset or whatnot. Like me, I'm that person. If I'm upset, yeah, I need like a couple minutes to sit up here and gather my thoughts or just sit with my emotions and stuff like that. 9 times out of 10, if you let me do that, it'll pass. But if you sit up here and badger me and sit up here and try to get an answer out of me or whatnot, like it's gonna make it even worse. Like, you can be in a room with me, we can just sit in silence, just let me collect my thoughts. Like, you don't gotta go in a separate room or nothing like that. Sometimes all I need is just a presence there. I don't need to be spoken to. And that don't have to be taken offensive. You don't have to think that I don't, want to talk to you or anything like that. I just need to be alone in my thoughts, and that's not a problem. I feel like some people create a problem like that because they don't like that silence. But yeah.
And that's also like, and that, like I said, that being something that you shouldn't have to tell somebody over time, like, because that's not something that somebody knows from you about, like, by meeting you. You know what I'm saying? So if I meet you out on the street, I don't know that you don't want to be talked to, and you know what I'm saying? I don't know that about you. So after months and months of being around somebody, that has to be learned, and that's what I mean. Like, if somebody is not willing to learn that, because the big stuff is, oh, I'm cooking for you, I'm cleaning for you, I'm protecting you, but like that's the stuff that you already expected that person. But the little stuff is you want them to pay attention to you not wanting to be talked to for 10 minutes. That's the little stuff, right? And that's the stuff that most people don't like. We don't pay attention to that about our significant others enough. Like, what are the little things that they need? You know what I'm saying? That make them tick, that make them, you know what I'm saying, make them smile, you know what I'm saying? All the little stuff that make them go. We don't pay attention to that stuff enough. We just feel like, all right, if I love you, if I say I love you, if I, you know what I'm saying, ask you if you need something on the way home, if I ask you if you want some food, we good. You know what I'm saying? And like, oh, you better ask if you want some damn food. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a given. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't do that, then we got a problem. You know what I'm saying? So like that type of stuff is like a given already. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. So with that being said, I want to move on to like basically the dating sequence. Like, how do you guys think dating should go in order to get into a relationship? Like, some people don't believe there's a talking stage, like where you sit up here and basically vet different individuals to see if you want to move on to the next stage of dating, which is y'all sitting up here spending quality time with each other, getting to know each other more. Y'all might not be in a committed relationship yet, but then you move on to being in a committed relationship. Like, do you think it's stages like that, or how do y'all go about dating?
Definitely so, because I feel like, how can you jump into a committed relationship with somebody and you don't know them? Because I feel like in most cases when relationships don't work out, or they're very toxic relationships, it's for the simple fact that you missed the most important part. And I was like really getting to know that person to make sure that the two of you were compatible for each other.
Right.
So like, I mean, like, that's like me just dating you, right? And we're like, all right, and then we just talk to each other because, again, we don't know each other's love language.
Okay. So you don't want to jump into a serious relationship or whatnot if you don't know that person. If you feel me, like you have to sit up here and get to know them. I feel like people.
No, I get what you're saying. I'm asking, are we discussing right now serious relationships or dating? Because you said both. Like you mentioned dating, and then you mentioned serious relationship.
So
to
what's
me,
the
there's
difference?
two different things. You can be dating somebody
And
then decide to be in a relationship with them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, which are we talking about? Just dating? Are we talking about a relationship?
And that's the thing. I think that's what creates a lot of friction because I think from a male and a woman perspective is different. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like we look at that type of shit differently. So.
And then it's 2020. Like I know now, like there's a perspective. Like I know I have female friends that are like, I'm gonna date all the men, like all these men, and whichever one I like the best.
Exactly.
That's the one I'm gonna be with. You know, like so that's why I asked to make the distinction. Like which one are we discussing?
So that's a good question because I'm like, are you dating or are you talking?
Well, to his point, what he exactly what he just said was what I was going to touch on. Is that I feel like a lot of the times we don't know what the hell dating is.
No.
Right.
Because dating is just that. What he said. The last thing he said was he has friends that decide they want to talk to multiple people and then pick the cream of the crop, who's the best person. That's what the hell dating is. Like, that's exactly what it is. You're supposed to talk to most people to see, like, all right, who is the person that I want to end up with now out of the people that I've dated? If you're talking to one person, or, you know, that's because that's what talking is. When you get to that talking stage, that's when you've dated around and you decided, okay, I want to talk to this one person. You understand what I'm saying? That's my opinion of it. Like, I don't feel like you're talking before you've dated. Because if you skip the dating part, then you might not, that talking stage might not work out because you putting all your eggs in that basket. You're saying, okay, like you haven't even seen what else is out here. You're single, right? Or let's just say you just got a relationship, right? You start talking to someone else. You haven't dated anyone. I'm right back in with somebody else. You know what I'm saying? That's a disservice to you being single. That's like, you know what I'm saying? Why are you single? You're really not single. Like if you're talking to somebody else, if you're just talking to one person, or if you're so-called dating one person, you might as well just be in a relationship with that one person. You know what I'm saying? Like essentially, because you're not, and I'm not telling you to like sleep around and I'm not saying sleep
that's one
around.
of the questions later.
Yeah, I'm not saying sleep around and like do all that extra stuff. What I'm saying is you don't have to sleep with somebody to talk to them and get to know them. You know what I'm saying? So like if you are dating somebody, going out, having dinner, stuff like that with somebody, you can do that with more than one person. And that shouldn't be frowned upon, but it is frowned upon because we don't know what dating truly means. I feel like, and like especially in our community, especially the black community, we don't really know what dating. We are so engulfed in that talking stuff. I'll talk to this person. I'll talk to this person. And so when we say we talk to 10 people, that sounds weird. But if you say you're dating, I'm out here. I'm dating. That sounds like, that sounds more cordial. Like I'm dating. I'm not talking to anybody. I'm just dating. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense. Like, as opposed to I'll talk to 10 people. Like that sounds like you out here bogus. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think it all really comes down to like, do you have a purpose in dating? Really, to be honest, like, what are you doing this for? Are you doing this to just have fun? Are you doing this in the moment? Are you looking to pursue somebody serious? I mean, it really all depends, and I think they're all acceptable, of course. But I think you really gotta, whoever you're talking to, you really gotta come to that understanding, like, what are you looking for? And I think that's part of my problem too, in a way, because I feel like sometimes I can be too direct and too straightforward because I'm a really structured person. But that's just how I keep myself in order. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I want to go backwards though, cause you said that dating comes before talking.
He said after, basically. Oh.
Dating comes before talking.
Okay, let me pause on that because I feel like you talk before you date. Because if you think about it, I'm like, when you first sitting up here, start talking to somebody, you know, y'all exchange numbers, however y'all want to do it or whatnot, and y'all just sitting up here, texting, woo, caking in, stuff like that. You gotta see if the dang on compatible, like if y'all compatible through that, because some people can't even be consistent through the talking stage before y'all get to the dating.
So okay, this scenario, I meet you at a party, you know, we never met before, we exchange numbers, and I'm like, you trying to go to a date, on a date, Friday night, 9 o'clock. We go do this. We go to a dinner, and we have a great dinner, and then we go on another date, and after that date, you know, I text you, I really like these dates, you know, I really like you. Like we're dating, we went on dates, now we're talking, you know, now I want to talk to you, you know, like if the dates go well, you know, that's chemistry enough, you know, like there's not gonna be, you know, there's gonna be red flags if you guys aren't gonna be compatible.
Mm.
But I feel like honestly, you can't truly judge someone from just talking. Like if you're not like doing activities with them, if you're not going on dates, if you're not dating them, you can't truly judge how they would be in a relationship. If you're not doing dating activity, you know what I'm saying? If you just sit in the house on your phone texting or FaceTiming someone back and forth, you can't judge much from someone. I need to go out with you, see how you react in public, at least once or twice, to be able to move forward and say like, all right, now we can start talking on a more serious level, as opposed to now we just messing around, we just dating.
People
you know
can
what I'm saying? 'Cause
talk
like I said,
all day on the phone, you know, like they can say anything.
Yeah, like and people can be way different over the phone. Like you can be way funnier through text message. Like text message is way really deceiving. Like people are hilarious through text message. You get in front of them and they not funny at all.
Don't say
like,
a word. Be quiet.
They're not funny. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I need to get in front of you to see like that same humor that you display through text. I need to see it sit in front of me and make me laugh. And a lot of times that can't happen. So you can see that with somebody and it's like that chemistry is not there, but you can see that from dating. You can't see that from just talking. That's why I say, and I also said, if I say you can date multiple people, because if I take you on a date, we didn't do anything. We just went on a date. We had dinner. We went out, and I saw that from that date. I don't never want to do this again. So it's okay to date someone else. You know what I'm saying? For
tomorrow.
You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow. I go on another date tomorrow because I know from that one date, me and you will never do that again. We're good. Because I went out on a date with you. We went out in public, and I saw from the way we interact, from the way you interact in public, no, never again. You know what I'm saying? That's a date. But I can date someone else, like you said, tomorrow, because why not? You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to talk to, I feel like when I'm taking to that next step, and I'm talking to 5 or 6 people, that's a little shaky. That's now you get into murky waters, because you can make somebody feel more special, and that's when people start to say, you made me feel like it was something that it wasn't, or I felt like we was doing girlfriend and boyfriend stuff, but then you end up ghosting me and you end up saying you didn't want this after we talked for 6 months. You know what I'm saying? But really, if you're dating and you're allowing them to do what they do and you're doing what you want to do, then those waters don't get crossed, and you don't cross those waters. You understand what I'm saying?
So what is talking? Like, can we specify what is talking? Because I feel like
everybody's perception of talking is completely different.
Factually.
Yeah. Because like when I'm talking to somebody, like it's in a weird way. Like I'm like talking, I'm texting them throughout the day,
right.
Going on dates with them, hanging out with them. Like dating for me is like I'm dating you, like with the title, like you're my boyfriend type. You know what I mean? Type shit. Like you're my boyfriend. Like it just depends. I feel like everybody's like perception on like how that works is different, which is why you do have to be straightforward with whoever you're talking to, so that like he said, things don't get murky and you're not like giving someone the wrong like idea, and then when things don't work out, and now they like stand outside your house like on some crazy shit. You know what I mean? Literally.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I feel like people just get things crossed. Like they don't know what dating is. Like when you're dating, that's not committed. Like you're not sitting up here. Ain't no boyfriend, girlfriend.
Exactly.
We're just hanging out, we getting to know each other, and outside of texting.
That's why they have dating websites. Like, because you factually you're not talking to one person. Like, it's called a dating website because there's millions of people out there to choose from. You're not, like, being in a relationship is different from dating. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's but people don't understand that it's literally a definition for the word dating. But like, people have made their own definition for it. And like, we make our own definition for everything. I mean, I said that's just human nature. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, overall, that's like, it's okay for people, but as long as you communicate what your definition is. You understand? At the end of the day, if you have a different definition of it, as long as you let the person know, like, hey, you might think this is what it is, but for me, this is what it is. And if you let that be known, it shouldn't be any problem. Because at the end of the day, everybody has their own way of navigating through situations. So, like she just said, her definition of dating is she's damn near in a relationship with somebody. She might as well be committed to them. Well, if that's her definition of it, as long as you let that be known, like, hey, bro, if we're dating, you're mine, then she gotta let that be known. Because, like I said, like, that's her definition, and that's okay. That's how she defines it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so if you meet a guy and you guys are like a month into talking.
Oh hell no, we're not like together, but like we're like hanging out. Like talking, like
right.
But like for me, it's weird. It's like it's mixed because I'm one of those people. I like to like, I need to like hang out with you so I can feel your vibe out to decide if that works for me or not. In the process of also talking to you, so like talking and dating to me are all kind of.
So you call that hanging out, but not dating?
I don't know. It's like,
no. But I didn't finish my
like,
question. My question is this. So you're talking to somebody. You know, you meet somebody and you guys are texting, you go on a date or two, you're hanging out, and then you meet somebody else and they're just awesome. Are you gonna do you give them the time of day, or are you not committed but not even exclusive, but like just give are you gonna give this person the time of day, or are you like in the talking stage with the person that you met a month ago?
Definitely not. But I definitely probably would like exchange numbers and like talk to them and fill them out. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, because I'm talking to you, I won't talk to anybody else. However,
so what do you call that? You just talking to? I'm not.
Like, even for me, it's like I said, it's just very complicated because I've been in multiple situations where it was just defined differently. The situation, like I said, it's very situational. Like, it depends on the person that you're interacting with to really kind of define the terms and conditions to that. Like just in general, like it's like, yeah, I'm talking to somebody and somebody else comes along and like I'm like, I'm kind of interested in that person. Will I exchange numbers with them? Will I get to know them? Yes. But I mean, I'm not gonna be like, oh, that's my boyfriend over here, so I'm gonna just stay loyal to you. But like, if I have a good connection with that person, am I going to like shit on that connection? No, I'm not. But I don't think there's anything wrong with testing the waters.
All right. So with that being said, I want to ask, if you guys are talking to multiple people, do you think that you should let the people that you know that you're talking to multiple people, or that you should receive that same feedback if they're talking to multiple people? How do you think that should work?
It depends on the people. It really depends on the people because some people. I'm sorry, I'm gonna cut you off.
No, I'm wholeheartedly agreeing with you. It depends on the people.
Because you have those people that are like you said, like when they go into when they're dating, they have like one goal: I'm about to either marry this person or never talk to this person again. Then you have some people that's like, oh, I'm just having fun testing the waters. If I find a person, okay, great. If I don't, also okay. So like, I don't know. I mean, it just like I said, it depends on the person. Like depending on y'all vibe. Like some people, like I said, I don't know. Maybe this is why people lie, I guess, about things. Now that I think about it, because they know the person they're talking to probably would not like. Take that as well, and then they might change up on them a little bit because now they're like, oh, now you're talking to people, so now I'm not talking to nobody else, so now I'm gonna start acting a little awkward around you. Some people respond like that if you tell them, hey, I'm talking to people. But then you have some people that are like, hey, I'm really feeling you, but like I'm also feeling somebody else. I just want to put that out there so that there's no like issues. And you have to say, oh, that's cool with me too.
Right.
But it really just depends on the person. But typically, depending on how long you're talking to that person, you can kind of determine like how they're gonna react to that.
Alternatively, like how dudes can take that two different ways. they'll be like some dudes take that as a challenge.
Right.
Like, okay, bet, game
Right.
on. Other dudes are like, I'm cool on that.
Yeah.
Like I'm completely cool. Like I'm not in a rat race. You know, I'm nobody's option, you know, like type stuff. So
I really, like I said, I just think it's about compatibility too.
But what is that though? Like, I'm like, how are you supposed to sit up here and not find, but how are you supposed to see that you really, really want that person or anybody if you're not sitting up here, you know, just
Committing to it?
not like talking to people or just letting it be known, being honest from the get go. Like, you can't choose when, to be honest, I feel like that fucks up relationships.
Oh, I don't really know.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
go
so-
ahead, bro.
No, so I was just about to say it really depends on. For me, it depends on like the person, like they were saying. But like what I mean by the person is some people don't even care. Like, if that conversation is not a conversation that comes up, then it's not a conversation that you know what I'm saying? Like,
You just
like,
initiate.
it depends on the level of. It depends on like how you. Or the level of talking, because if you get to the point where you need to have that conversation, you need to have that conversation. If you feel like, man, I want to know if this person is talking to someone else because I might be cutting people off, or I might be slowing my work down, so I need to know if they're doing the same. So I need to ask this question. Then that's the question that needs to be asked. You know what I'm saying? But otherwise, a lot of times the question's not even asked. So as long as a lie is not told, then it should be no problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if the question is asked, then it should be like, hey, like. Because I was told, at the beginning of high school, my dad told me, hey man, when it comes to women, he's like, because I used to be out with him, I swear, well, my dad, like, he used to drive an Escalade 300, you know what I'm saying, nice cars, you know what I'm saying, so we'll be in traffic, women honking their horn at him. And we thinking they finna ask for directions, something crazy. He let his window down, how you doing, what's up, sweetheart? They going, spitting game, he's like, oh no, I'm married. They're like, okay, anyway, keep going. Like, I'm in the car like, oh, he like, you know, I'm like, whoa, he tell me like, hey, you know what I'm saying? That show you right there that if somebody wants something, they want it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it don't matter. You can tell them the truth. He said, you can see me tell somebody that I'm married and it not matter. So if you're a single man, you tell them that you're single, but hey, I talk to somebody else, but yet I am still single, it won't matter. You know what I'm saying? So that, like, telling somebody the truth, as long as you do it in the right tasteful way, as long as you're not insulting somebody like, hey, you know, I'm out here, I'm doing what I want to do, man. You know what I'm saying? As long as you're in the tasteful way, like, hey, like, I want to let you know that I'm not out here bogus, but I do talk to somebody else. Obviously, it's not serious enough for me to, because if it was serious, I wouldn't be talking to you, but obviously, you know, so I am talking to somebody else as well.
Right.
As long you can let that be known in a tasteful way and, you know, not lie about it. But a lot of times, like I said, the conversation's not even had. Like, because if you never get to that level, then why have a conversation? If we're just having fun, if we're just chilling, then that conversation is never had at all. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends on like the level of talking, I guess.
I feel like after a couple months, like you said, you kind of can determine like how serious that situation is, or if you know, like I've talked to people before, and I'm like, I don't know if that's gonna probably go anywhere because like maybe mentally that's just not where I'm at, or it's like maybe it could go somewhere, but just not right now. You know what I mean? Like. Basically what you're saying. Piggybacking off.
But then we have fun. You know, like, you know, type shit. Like,
yeah, like I'm gonna keep enjoying my time with you until basically
right.
our time is up.
Exactly.
But I feel like the issue with that is, in most situations, most people are like too hell bent on ownership. Like, as soon as we start talking, some people get that attachment so fast, and they're like, I own you, in a sense. They're not saying they own you, but their actions are saying they own you. That's like, they want you to constantly talk to them. If you're not texting them back at a certain time, they starting to freak out, where they coming at you some kind of like crazy way.
You gotta hit them with the, I'm not your man. Right.
But it's like I said, like it's just like a very weird situation. It really just depends on the person, which is why I like you kind of said, like, I guess dating and talking, like everybody's like, I guess opinion on it is completely different, but like I feel like getting to know a person is really important for me, because then I can determine through talking to you if I'm going to like take it to that next step and like do something serious or like date you.
To go off of what Daddy was talking about earlier, I think it's really about clarity, really.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as you're transparent about everything, I think everything should be fine. Like, really, I'm the type, I'm not going to lie. if I'm talking to you and you talking to other people, like that's cool. It is what it is, but I'm gonna definitely fall back and do me off that, you know.
I mean, but you should be doing you regardless.
See, but you know, I mean, I told you.
He's probably one of those people he dates because like he probably wants like something serious. So
Which that's fine.
Right.
It's more than that.
Is this Chris? Sorry.
It's much more than that. Like when I date, I'm not gonna say I don't need to see all my options, but I know exactly what I'm looking for before I do it. Like that's the type of man I am from the beginning.
Yeah.
Just in everything I do, I know exactly what I want when I want it, you know. And not everybody is like that. Some people need options. Some people go to a car lot and they need to see all the cars first.
But you know what you're going to get.
Exactly. I know before because I did my homework way before I came.
Okay,
That's just, you know, I mean, it really depends on the person.
Let me see how to drive. Sure. I gotta see.
Yeah. But I mean, I think most people usually try to keep the options around because they don't want to feel like they missed out on something.
Yeah.
And like you said, you're a structured guy.
Yeah.
And that's just not how you do it. Like, that's just not how you do things.
Yeah.
So see, I'm a structured person myself. However, like, I think from my past 2 relationships, it's definitely kind of changed my narrative on dating. Like, I definitely was one of those people, like, if I'm talking to you, I'm only really going to talk to you. Like, once I find somebody that I'm vibing with, I'm not really looking to talk to somebody else. However, if someone else did come, I didn't know how to really navigate that. So I would just feel like when you asked me that question earlier, like, yeah, I would kind of just stay loyal to that person. However, what I've learned from that is I've missed some serious red flags in people doing that by just sticking, like, being loyal to that one person and not necessarily seeing this other awesome person being like, all right, well, let me, like, just test you out and see how, like, we vibe. You know what I mean? So I think now, like, when I go into talking to people or dating people, I'm just kind of like, I don't own you. Let's just be clear. We're all talking to people. We're going on dates. We're doing our thing. But if we have a connection, like, I love it and I'm willing to, like, work towards it. And if it doesn't work, I'm still going to have respect for you as a person. We just weren't meant to be. Like, we're just not compatible in that way. So I don't know. It's just, I'm different. I don't know. Dating for, like, long periods of time has kind of, like, changed my narrative altogether.
No, I mean, I'm the same way. Like, I done changed from dating as well. I'm just like, because what I've learned also, which I want to get down to the problem of, is I feel like people keep other people around just for like a backup.
Yeah.
Of like a what if, like what if this don't work out? What if this person that I'm talking to or the person that I'm trying to date and get to know, what if that don't work out? Okay, I got backups just in case.
Yeah.
And I feel like that starts off what could be a good committed relationship. It starts off rocky because people like have that little inch of like a trust issue, like why you still got people on the sideline for just in case. You feel me? So I'm just like, all right, everybody just talk to multiple people, be clear on what it is that y'all doing, and if y'all go sit up here and be committed, be committed. But like you said, people get attached like real quick, even like in the talking and dating stage, like creating ownership and stuff like that, where even if you clear, which I've run into that a lot, I like, even though I'm clear on what it is, it's still like some type of sense of ownership, and I'm just like, I don't, you know.
Is that a red flag?
Yes, in a way.
So then, like in those instances, if you're clear about your wants and needs, and someone is not willing to accept that, and you ignore that, which is what I believe is a red flag. I personally believe that's a red flag, because like if I'm telling you that I just got a relationship and I don't want a relationship right now. I'm telling you I need to just relax and I need to just chill, do me, and I like you. I fuck with you. I want to see where this go. I don't know where it's gonna go, and I also talk to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to. I don't know where that's gonna go either. But I'm letting that be known. You know what I'm saying? I'm being honest with you. If you can't accept that, like that is something that like you as an individual have to like be able to like discern and say like, is this something I want to do? Because that ownership that this person is possessing, trying to get out of you. You know what I'm saying? They trying to really gain ownership out of you. That could be long term bad. You know what I'm saying? That's a red flag that could long term end up being something that like y'all never get out of that talking stage. Because all the while you were trying to, you know, clear headedly, you know what I'm saying, figure out which direction you wanted to go. They were clouding your judgment. They were trying to, you know, possess you. And you were trying to, like I said, like, you know, explore your options sounds such a bad word, but explore your options and see exactly which direction you want to go.
Oh, most stuff. I definitely take that. I mean, I don't take it as a red flag per se. I take it as a, all right, cool. So I know for a fact that I'm not gonna really fuck with you like that because you're not like listening to that one specific aspect. You trying to be all affectionate and relationship type of status, and I'm just trying to chill
But
and
if
be
you're not
friends.
gonna
You feel
really
me?
mess with them, that's a red flag. If you develop that mentality, I'm not going to mess with you like that. Like
I
that's
feel like red flags is just like, damn, that like you a bad person type.
Mm-hmm, but sometimes it can be really surface level shit that you really wouldn't think like on a regular day is like nothing, but you date them, it could turn into, damn, this motherfucker is texting you like, you tell them you're going out with your friends and they're texting you like, I legit had a friend like that, like she loved the guy, but she would tell him, okay, I'm out with my friends. Now, it's like me and you, like, say we go out somewhere, right? And we have guys who are like, okay, we're about to go out, such and so. I don't expect him to be calling me all while I'm out with you and texting me. And he's not respecting what we just told them, right? So then...
That's even a more complex red flag.
No, I agree with that. But I feel like it's yellow flags and then red flags. You feel me?
No, but a red flag is a red flag.
Every time I come over,
it can be very simple.
A red flag is every time I come over, I've never seen you cook. You always eat out.
Yeah, that could be a simple red flag. Yeah, that's
a red
simple.
flag is I've never seen you. I've spent the night. I've never seen you brush your teeth.
Yeah, but a red flag, like there's levels to red flags.
A red flag for a woman could be you never open doors. You know what I'm saying? You don't have any gentleman qualities. You know what I'm saying? You don't open doors. You don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Just like things like that. Like if that's something that you, because red flags it's individualized. You know what I'm saying? So red flags for me and red flags for him are totally completely different. You know what I'm saying? So like a red flag is just that. Like a red flag is just, it could be simple. It doesn't have to be nothing complex. It could be you don't drink no water ever. I never seen you drink water.
But like
I've never seen you drink water. You're very unhealthy. You know what I'm saying? You're very unhealthy. I think you're gonna die. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause you don't never drink water. You know what I'm saying?
I don't want that in a future partner.
I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? Like, or you don't ask me to drink water. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you, hey, this is water in your system.
And you
get mad. And you like, whoa, I don't drink water. Oh, that's a red flag, bro.
I'm sorry.
Like,
this ain't like a personal experience.
It's not at all. I'm just saying, like, I'm looking at your water, so it's like, you know what I'm saying? It made me think of something like, something as simple as that is like, not for me personally, that's not a red flag, but like, you know what I'm saying? If somebody was a health advocate and a freak fitness and never saw somebody drink water, that's like, whoa, bro, like, hey, you know, like, because I've had people like that, like, I've had females tell me, like, hey, you need to be going healthy or this or that or do this or do that. I'm like, oh, chill on that. And it's like, no, she's dead serious. Like, no, like you need to know that I'm serious because this can affect your health in this way. I'm like, all right, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, but like if that's a serious point in someone's life, then that's serious to them. You know what I'm saying? That's a red flag for them.
Again, just one of those things that depends on the person.
That's true. But the thing, I don't know. Like, I'm a little bit different. Like, I definitely acknowledge like red flags and stuff like that, but at the same time, I feel like at the same time when you come into a new relationship, whether it's talking, whether it's serious, no matter what it is, I think you gotta kind of come with an open mind and an open heart and not bring past situations into new situations. Because in the you can kind of be the toxic one doing that, if you know what I mean. Like, if you bring something, like let's say I'm talking to you, right? The situation is, dude, we having a good time, but for some reason in the back of your mind, you know, you nitpicking, you this, you that, you know, it's like you can ruin a situation just off trying to look for everything that's wrong instead of just being human and let life happen, you know. And that's one thing I had to learn how to do is not fight life no more. And that's what, you know, that's just something.
Yeah, I'm just speaking on like something that's like your moral or your value. Is it something that you stand on?
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's something you stand on, not something that like you're flowing into. Because obviously you gotta learn people. So like I'm not gonna go into like, I don't know you, but like if you like this, I'm not rocking with you. No, but I'm saying if it's something I stand on, like I said, that's what I'm saying, that's a red flag. Like, cause your red flags are totally different. I don't know what they are. You know what I'm saying? But like mine are like not surface level as drinking water. That was a terrible example. But I'm saying like for somebody whose it is, that could be a red flag for someone. And if that is their red flag, they gotta acknowledge that and like not ignore it and be like, well,
Yeah, drag the
you know what I'm
situation
saying? Well,
out.
maybe they'll start drinking water. But they gotta at least address it and say, well, hey, are you gonna ever drink some water?
Of course,
You know what I'm saying? Like, as simple as that. At least address it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying? Like, hey, right, hey, like,
This tastes really good.
right. By the way, like,
Oh my gosh.
You know.
All right, so I want to go into real quick. Do you guys think that either your religion or your parental upbringing influence the way that you guys go into relationships?
Absolutely. I don't want to say you're a product of your environment, but in a weird way, your environment definitely shapes your way of moving and the way you think and the way you deal with people.
I feel like whether you positively like react to your environment or negatively react to your environment, you react to it one way or the other. Like some people tell me all the time, like, I believe in marriage. I want to get married.
Oh, thank you. That was the next question.
But people ask me like, so you want to get married because your parents are married? Your parents still married? I'm like, yeah, my parents are still married. But that's not necessarily the reason why I want to get married. You understand what I'm saying? Because my parents have also been separated. I've also seen my parents argue and fight. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's not the perfect example of marriage. So someone else could have looked at my parents' marriage and decided, I definitely don't want to be married. You know what I'm saying? Like from you know what I'm saying? Like, because it's not always been a perfect situation. My parents butt the hell at each other, and I can see that. I know what love is from my parents. But as far as what marriage is, like the lifelong battle of marriage, like it's an everyday learning. It's an everyday like, hey, we working towards like my dad tells me all the time, like, I'm still learning your mom every day. You know what I'm saying? They've been married for 20-some years. You know what I'm saying? Like, every day I'm still learning your mom. So if you're not willing to sign up for that grind with somebody, you know what I'm saying, then, like, it really don't matter. Like, your upbringing, like brings all that together. Because like I said, if my mom and my dad was separated, like to this day, if they weren't together, I could still decide, hey, I want to be married because I want to be better than that. You know what I'm saying? And I could use that negative example to be positive for me. You know what I'm saying? Because some people who parents have been divorced, never were together, they never seen their parents, never had a dad around, are happily married. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, it depends on one way or the other. Your environment will probably affect how you see, like you said, how you see relationships and marriage and that type of stuff.
Yeah, I got anything to say on that before I
I mean,
move on to the next question?
You pretty much got to every single point I probably would say. As far as the religion thing, I think,
I ain't touching that yet.
I don't know. I never really thought about religion aspect. I mean,
Some people are not religious. That's why I just threw it out there.
My mom worked at this place, and she had a coworker, and she was Catholic, and her husband was Muslim. And that's like opposite spectrum. Right. That's like, what the hell? Like, you would have never thought, right? Because most Catholics marry Catholic, most Muslims marry Muslim, or their significant other that isn't or doesn't have a religious, whatever, they will convert. However, that wasn't the case. And my mom was like, well, what the hell? How did y'all do that? How do y'all make that work? Like, you have children. Like, do you make your children choose they want to be Catholic? And what she told my mom was, she's like, well, we accept each other. So with us accepting each other, we understand that we practice two different things. We believe in two different things. However, we still love you and accept each other. So that's really what, that really doesn't kind of determine if our relationship is going to last or not. And she was like, well, what about your children? She's like, well, we let our kids decide. If they want to be Catholic, they can be Catholic. If they want to be Muslim, they can be Muslim. If they don't want to have an identity in that regard, then we don't care. So I think I don't think it has a huge impact unless you legit dating a Jesus freak or a Catholic freak or somebody that's really no, you have to be this in order for us to work out. But in some instances, I hadn't cared. Some people have been religious, but they've also respected the fact that I identify as a Christian, but I'm not at church every Sunday. I'm not pulling the Bible out every time some shit hit the fan. You know what I mean? But I still believe that there's a higher power, and it's worked.
Okay.
So, I personally believe that religion is an important, integral part of any relationship. But my thing is this: you don't have to necessarily believe. So I attended Catholic school my whole life. You don't have to necessarily, in my opinion, believe in God to kind of pull the lessons that religion can teach you. I had a teacher my sophomore year. He kind of taught me that. You know, like he broke down the Bible in ways that you didn't really have to believe in God to take these moral lessons and, you know, stories. And that's how I enjoy church. You know, I like to listen to how the pastor is going to connect the story to telling you, you know, whatever he's trying to tell you that day. I've had people in the past though, like when I'm trying to get to that level of people like kind of snapping me, like you think I need, I'm not saying you need Jesus
like
specifically. I was just trying to experience that lesson with you, right, type thing. So
Well, since you're snapping, maybe.
Like
Right.
he said, I'm not a super religious person, but like he said, like to hear somebody convert like something that was written 1,000 years ago to today's to what's happening in today's world, or to something that might be happening in your life currently at times, like that is really good for you as an individual. Like, hey man, I heard him say something about something that just happened to me last week. You know what I'm saying? And he connected it really well, and he made me feel. Well, he taught me a lesson, and that's what
Right.
it's all about. Mostly is learning a lesson from the passages.
You don't need to believe in God to learn. You know, keep working hard and stay the path, and you know, and you'll succeed in whatever you need to do. You know, that's just a lesson. That's a good lesson to learn. You know, that's the lesson I'm trying to learn. You know, that's the lesson I go to church for.
I think
you know, if I do attend the session. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I think some people though, when you mention religion, I think they might like be a little sensitive to it, so like they might not be as open to it. Like you said, like they might think that you like insulting them if you bring it up, or you ask them like, hey, you want to come to church with me on Sunday? I want to experience this lesson with you. It's not like I'm trying to force you to be something that you're not comfortable doing, but some people may feel like that.
To that, I was having we were talking about it at that time. We were talking about our religion, and they had said, yeah, I would like to go to church. And I was like, all right, let's do it. They were like, so I was like, okay.
Some people just talk about
Right.
it.
Right. I'm like,
they
okay.
just like say something for them to sound
I'll go to
interesting, but
church.
they really not about it. You know what I mean? And that's okay, but like just say that. You don't have to like do this for me. I want you, whatever decision you make in the process of us like interacting, I want you to do it like strictly because that's what you want to do, not because you feel like you have to do that for our bond to be stronger. Like if that's how you moving, that's how you moving. And if I like you, I'm just gonna accept that. And if I don't, well then I can keep it pushing. You know, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do.
Okay, I probably got like 3 more questions on the relationship aspect, and then we're gonna move on to like the sex portion. Okay. So, but and he already answered. Do you believe in marriage? And if so, is there like do you have like an expected date or anything like that? Are you like kind of trying to plan it out or whatever the case may be?
Can I go?
Go ahead.
All right. So like I said, my past relationships, they definitely taught me a lot about just life in general. I do believe in marriage. My mom got married really late in life, but as a child, like I always knew that like I wanted to have that person that I like built that family dynamic with and that I like grew up with. Now, one thing that I used to do is, like I said, because I am structured, kind of like Justin, like I used to try to put time frames on shit versus just accepting that like right now this person is in this stage of their life and I'm at this stage of my life, and right now we might not be on the same like frequency. Like, so I cannot say like, okay, me and him start dating, right? All right, so I'm like, in the next 2 years, I better see an engagement ring. Like, because it takes so much longer than, you can't put like a timestamp on how close you're gonna get to somebody, or how like when you're gonna like timing. You can't just like say, oh, in the next 2 years, blah blah blah. Which is why I have an issue when people say if you've been dating for somebody for more than like 6 years, like they're not really about you. They don't really see a future with you. I disagree because strongly, like I said, you could be at this point in your life and learning and growing, and this person could be doing the same thing, and y'all may not be at that point yet.
We could have started dating when we were 18.
That's true.
We did, you know. Like,
Now, if that's the case, I feel like that's more acceptable.
But it depends, because you're a different
do
person.
people expect you to get married when you're 23? You know, like
some people get married at 23, 24.
And it doesn't work out.
And like my parents got married at 23 and 24. They've still been married. They're still married to this day. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, it's at times, you know, they've talked divorce before. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can say that stuff on here because like my parents will tell people that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my parents are open about their relationship. Like, it's, hey, you know what I'm saying? It ain't been peaches and cream, you know what I'm saying? But they love each other. Like I said, when you realize like I can't be without somebody, when you get to that level with somebody, that's important. But like, man, it take a lot to get to that level, and there's no timetable on that. You know what I'm saying? Like she said, like it might take a while. You know what I'm saying? Like it might take a little minute. My parents knew each other for their whole life. Like my parents grew up together. You know what I'm saying? So it was way longer than 6 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was way longer than 6 years. I was born. My mom and my dad were 18 and 19. So they got married after I was born. So like I said, it was like a lot that could have, you know, stopped that from happening. So like it takes a lot to get to that point with somebody that know like, all right, we there. You know what I'm saying? We there.
I personally, I believe time is irrelevant.
Yeah.
There's that meme that goes around where it's like a person that you've met last week could make you more happy than somebody like you've been with for a year.
Yeah.
Type shit, you know.
Yeah.
So I think time is, you know, I don't think there's, like you said, there's no timetable on it. You know, like it could take you much longer than 6 years. Some people click.
And you can feel that in a year. Some people get, like, I have people that I know personally very close to me, you know what I'm saying, that surprised the heck out of me, got married, you know, 3 months, 4 months. And I'm like, heck nah, bro. Still married to this day, 5, 6, 7 years later. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, all right, bro. But like when it happened, it was like, man, heck nah, bro. No way, bro.
It's
no
crazy.
way, bro.
Some of those are like the best relationships.
Yeah, but it was. I'm literally like, oh my god, this is not happening. You know what I'm saying? I'm freaking out. Like, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not happening. Not to this person. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking like, no. But fast forward, you know, happily married, home, you know, cars, kids. You know what I'm saying? You know. I'm single. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know what I'm saying?
That was a little depressing.
My point is that like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't say like, you can't knock you can't knock nothing you see. Like I said, there's no timetable on it because like it could take 6 years. I know people that has taken 6 years and they're still happily married to this day. I know people that like start pressing it after 6 years and that probably shouldn't have pressed it after 6 years and broke up and now are miserable trying to find their way again. When that person that they probably should marry is right around the corner, you know, they left them in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you get that person to ultimatum, and when you can't like be patient sometimes, that's a problem. That's definitely a problem.
When you can't get your way, like instant gratification.
For sure,
when you can't get that and you're not fulfilled, like you tend to like cut things off versus just kind of like working through the ugly. But like that kind of is a thing, like piggybacking off of marriage, like that people don't realize. Like I feel like people, at least in our generation, when they see marriage, they just see it for the surface level things. They don't see like, no, like tomorrow if this man like swiped a credit card and he wasn't supposed to swipe the credit card and that was like y'all bill credit card, you cannot like hit this man upside the head with a pan and then break up with him. Like no, you have to live with this man. You are like legally binding to this man. Like y'all have a family, y'all have like financial ties. Like no, you cannot do that. And I feel like a lot of people that I know who have gotten married and have like shortly after divorce, it was because of that. Like they didn't allow that person their time to grow. And they didn't allow themselves that time to grow and be like, okay, now I'm ready. They just like, no, I want marriage. I want the idea of this big wedding. They think it's going to be this fairy tale, but they don't realize how much time and energy and like sweat and tears goes into that. And a lot of people truthfully are not ready, which is why I said like, you cannot put a time stamp on that because I feel like it also depends on your level of maturity.
Right.
I could be a little bit more mature than my partner. But at the same time, the next year, my partner might experience something that pushes their maturity a little bit further than me. And then you know what I mean? And then I might be back there, you know? So like, no, I wouldn't want to rush things until I know that we're literally on the same frequency. And we're like, yep, we're at where we need to be and I'm ready to do this with you. I used to feel like the complete opposite though. Like my mom used to tell me, after 3 years you dating somebody, they don't give you a ring. No. And she even found that out the hard way. Like rushing proposals and then shortly after it's just going down the drain. But then like talking to somebody for 3 months and marrying her and she's the happiest she's ever been with out of anybody she's ever dated. You see what I mean? So I guess pressure is just like something you should try to eliminate when it comes to doing that. Like
I feel that.
it could fuck everything up.
I feel that.
Do you believe in marriage?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I got no problem with it.
I think it's beautiful.
Me personally. All right, I'll get married. I don't have a problem with marriage. My thing is, I think people get so caught up in traditions.
Yeah.
And let's be real for 2 seconds. Marriage is literally, it's a legal contract. And
That's
to
all
the
it
government. It's a legal contract. The government recognizes you in a union with this person. You can file taxes jointly, on land jointly, blah, blah, blah. You know, like, it's literally a legal contract. But like I said, I'll be married. Like, I have no problem with marriage, but that's just that's my personal view on it. People get caught up in tradition. I know, like, older people, they're like, don't shack up, just the whole thing,
They're very
they get very,
and, like,
older
being
people are
conventional.
like, when people they get married, and like, I oftentimes, like, I know older people that are together, they've been together for like 50 years, and they hate each other. Like, and they've hated each other for like 40 years of that 50 years that they've been married, like old people, like, and they stay together because that's the tradition. Like, they don't get, so
No divorce.
I feel like people, right, exactly.
I'm gonna do that L 'cause I
So,
can't.
but I've seen a lot of that too, what you said, and a lot of that, to me, it all boils down to like, damn near sometimes financials and stuff like that. Like, people stay together because the situation, it's already laid. You already got the house. You've been together living here for years, and people don't like change. People don't like
Yeah,
change.
it's
for
comfortable.
reasons. So,
My
exactly like
husband.
you said, it's comfortable.
But like, plot twist, what if like what you think is hatred because you don't understand a relationship is really just like
That's their love
love.
language.
That's their
Yeah.
love language, and just because it may not resonate with you doesn't mean it doesn't resonate
Did you
with
say
them.
hatred?
Like,
No,
Wait,
it
hold
might
on, okay.
look like hatred to you.
like, okay, even if their actions say blah blah blah, like they're arguing. Blah, hear me out. I only say this because like I
I'm
legit.
not trying to be.
No, hear me out. I
I'm like,
legit
how can
like
hatred be a
witnessed-
love language?
No,
I'm
like
trying to
I
understand what you
legit
mean.
like okay. So for example, my grandma and my grandpa. My mom
Oh,
told me
okay,
they
that's
used
what
to
you're talking about when
beat
I made that
each
statement,
other
okay.
ass. Like my grandpa came home 5 minutes late. And you're cheated. Threw him over the porch. Broke his wrist. They're fighting like cats and dogs. You feel me?
Type shit.
And my mom was like, growing up, when she saw that, she was like, fuck no, I never want to get married if this is what marriage is. Like, they fucking hate each other, and they're living with each other because, obviously, my mom is like the homemaker, and my dad is a breadwinner, but without each other, they kind of are lost.
Right.
It took my grandma getting sickly and dying for my mom to really see how much they really loved each other. Because my mom said when they put her mother on hospice, there wasn't a single day that my grandpa was not there.
Mm-hmm.
And if he was even late a minute, she would cry like a baby for him until he got there. So like what we may kind of like view as hatred or something like that like Jada said, might just be their love language.
I get what you mean
Well,
now.
well,
Okay.
so
Which is why
yeah,
they probably are not going to leave
Well,
that
see,
situation.
I feel like that's much different because exactly to that point, my grandmother and grandfather, like when I was a shorty, my grandfather would drink, and even when he wouldn't drink, he was just mean and crazy. And you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Until like, and so he had like things about him that you know what I'm saying, that made him the nicest person in the world. But you know what I'm saying? When it came down to it, he was the biggest soul out there. You know what I'm
Not
saying?
to say that old black men didn't have a reason to be.
Right, exactly,
mean, nasty
and exactly,
asshole.
and that's
Just
real talk. Like, and
just
that's
wanted to throw that in there.
and that's another thing. My grandfather. So I found out that my grandfather and my grandmother lost twins in a fire, and they said my grandmother, my grandfather, excuse me, they had to hold him back from running the crib. Cause he, you know what I'm saying, he couldn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? He literally was held back by like 5 people from running the crib trying to save his twins. You know what I'm saying? And they said after that, he was cold. You know what I'm saying? They said, you know what I'm saying, he was just different. And it take my aunts and uncles to tell that story. Like, hey, they said, man, he, you know what I'm saying, he was like, you know, a lot, you know, sweeter.
Mm-hmm.
But like even like to me, never a mean situation ever. But like I used to watch him and my grandmother go at it. You know what I'm saying? And like my grandmother, I never watched, she didn't cuss. She never cursed. You know what I'm saying? So like he's saying every word under the sun, and she's telling him, okay, Ernest, just okay, whatever. And I'm sitting there looking like, Granny, like, what? I'm like, what, bro? Like, what? Like, and like I'm like one time, like as I started getting older, you know what I'm saying, like, I thought he was gonna hit her one time, and that was never gonna happen, you know what I'm saying? But I thought he was gonna hit her one time, because he got all up on her, and he going at her, and I'm like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? And he got on me so bad, he like, hey man, don't you ever, you know what I'm saying? I don't know who that's my woman. I'm like, all right, bro, my bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, then my granny told me, like, my mama told me, my dad told me, like, hey, they've been doing that for 50 years.
That's crazy.
They've been doing that for 50 years. They've been together for 50 years.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that, you know what I'm saying, that's phasing your grandmother? And I'm like, well, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It gotta be, bro. You know what I'm saying? There's no way that's not phasing her, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's phasing me. I'm in here mad as hell. I'm like, what's going on, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, but, like to her point, when my grandfather got sick, my grandmother still alive to this day. When my grandfather got sick, boy, every single solitary day, you know what I'm saying? She was never not there. You know what I'm saying? For every doctor's visit, for everything, she was there. And you know what I'm saying? And to this day, you mention him, she smiled from ear to ear. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like she light up to this day when we talk about him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but that's different though, because I feel like a lot of us today like the idea of marriage and aren't signed up for like I said, the lifelong. Because like if you marry somebody, let's just say hypothetically speaking, we marry somebody in the next 2 or 3 years, you got life expectancy of another 60, maybe 70 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you signed up for that potential?
To be with somebody longer than you've been alive.
Exactly.
Already.
Are you signed up to potentially be with somebody longer than exactly like when you start that, when that ends, y'all would have been together for, you know what I'm saying, longer than, you know, that's crazy, bro. Like, that's nuts. Like, that's like he said, that's a long contract to sign up for. And people are signed up for the thought of that, oh, I'm gonna get married and get a house and have kids and it's gonna be all fun, but like, it ain't that. You know what I'm saying? It's not that.
Forget marriage. People don't. It's a contract. It's a hard contract to sign up for. Like, people move in together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people don't realize. People like are so happy to, like, the idea of living with your significant other. And I'm getting off. You know, topic a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But people get so excited about the idea of living with your significant other. And then you don't realize, like, you're always in a space with your other, like, with your significant other.
Not gonna
like,
lie.
you know, like, then you realize, like, then people are like, oh, we're gonna have sex every day, you know, like that type of, you know, that thing.
You go in with that until you realize that this person is fucking disgusting and leave their dirty ass drawers on the floor.
Oh my god.
Or they don't wash the dishes after themselves, or they leave dookie streaks in the toilet, and you don't realize that shit makes you want to like kill them and never
What
be
type
with
of
them.
man?
I mean, I don't know. No, I know it's really specific, but like, I'm just speaking from experience. Like you said, like, people go in with a surface level idea of how things are gonna be, but they're not realizing that life comes different. Like, you might do this with this person, and they might get hurt on the job, and they might be out for a year, and that might change your financial situation. And everybody know money stress niggas out. It don't just stress niggas out, it stress everybody out around the fucking globe. Like, if you're with somebody and their financial situation changes and it messes up what y'all have together. You know, people don't realize that. They don't think, like, this person could fall terminally ill, and then I'm left with all these hospital bills, and now I'm the breadwinner. Now I'm literally the homemaker while this person is fighting for their life. You know, and some people can't. They don't think about that in the long term, which is why I think when they rush into a marriage, they're like, oh, it's going to go like this, and this, and blah, blah, blah. Like, they think it's very structured, and, like, life is like this unpredictable cunt. Like, no. The most fucked up thing could happen. Are you going to be there tomorrow? Are you going to wake up and tell that person you love them? Like, this person could lose their leg on the job. Are you going to still love them and support them and be there for them, take them to rehab? Are you going to still do those things with them? They don't think about that. They just think that where we are now and the feelings, these, like, intense feelings we have now are going to constantly be like that for the rest of our thing. And then they are in for a rude awakening when shit hits the fan, and then they're like, oh no, I can't handle that, I'm leaving.
Understandable. I'm gonna say like this one last thing, and I'm gonna move on to like the cheating question. I have a question about that. Did you need a cup or something?
Yeah. You get to say that on camera.
But anyways, do I believe in marriage? I do believe in marriage, and once upon a time, I did have a timeline on marriage. I was like, yeah, I want to sit up here and probably be married by like, what, mid-20s, 25 or whatnot. But I think that was going around the case that I did want to like have my first child around that time too. So, but right now, it's whatever. It's going to happen when it happens. And I also just wanted to put it out there that, yes, people are in love with the idea of marriage, but I think they also in love with the idea of a relationship. Like they be seeing like these picture perfect social media couples and stuff like that, relationships and stuff like that, but they not taking into consideration that the same work and effort that you put into a marriage, you low-key got to put into a relationship as far as communication and also learning to grow with that person. Like you have to know that that person that you first dating, they're not going to be the same person that they are 5 years from now. So you have to be willing to go through those changes, work through those changes. And it might not be for the better, or it might, but whatever the case may be, you have to sign up for that. You just can't sit up here and just be leaving people just because they change.
Hopefully you go through those changes with that person. And so those aren't like drastic, like different changes that you're like, oh no, I can't deal with that anymore.
What do you mean go through it with them?
So you're saying like the person's not going to be the same person they are 5 years from now?
Yeah, because I mean, like Tasha said, like it might take something like dramatic happening, and it might not happen. Y'all just dropping stuff. But it might not. It might not happen to the both of you at the same time. You feel me? Like somebody might go through something on their own as an individual that pushes them in another direction from what they were in the beginning. If that makes sense. You feel me? So
I hear you, but I feel like if we're together and you're going through something that ultimately changes you, and I'm there the whole step of the way, and our relationship's working like how it's supposed to work, you know, like you kind of get where I'm going with that. Like
rephrase and repeat.
Sense of supporting them regardless of where they are mentally and emotionally, or
so. Can you give me an example of something that you would go through personally, like if we were in a relationship? Something you would go through personally that we wouldn't work through together as a couple.
like maybe the way you view yourself. I mean, like you're a person. You're like, I mean, like I guess something as small as that.
I want to say.
But the way you view yourself, like
No.
Like you might have depression. Let's just say that you might struggle with depression, but your partner may not.
Or it might be something that is sudden onset that you have to go through or whatnot, and you might not know that. You might sit up here and take it as, damn, you over here bitching at me.
If you're my partner and you're going through depression, there's no way I don't know that.
It might come off something different to you.
And if you don't know that, that's a problem.
But it might come off as something different because depression to everybody doesn't look the same.
No, it doesn't.
So it might look like something different. You might think that, you sitting up here bitching, or you sitting up here going crazy. Like y'all might think y'all be arguing and shit like
Something's
that.
off.
But something's wrong though, which should prompt the discussion.
Right?
Yeah.
Which should then, like, we should start uncovering layers. All right. What's wrong with you right here? All right. So that ain't the true problem. So let's uncover that. All right, we uncovered. So what's wrong with you here? So that's not the true problem. Let's get past that. So what's wrong here? And then finally, so you're depressed.
Yeah.
All right. So let's figure out how we can get some help for this.
So now that goes back to our communication, because you got to work to that, going to that level of a relationship, because the way you just unraveled it and stuff like that. Do you think people have those skills
Easier
to sit
said
up
than
here
done.
No,
Okay.
for sure.
to unravel something like
But
that?
that's what I'm saying though. When you get to that level of relationship, or like, you gotta be signed up for that. Like if you're not signed up for that, you should be in a relationship with somebody. That's what I'm saying though. Like you shouldn't get to that point of you my girl or you my husband or wife if you're not signed up to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're not signed up for that type of stuff, if you're not signed up to uncover those layers on somebody, then why y'all taking that step?
But that's what I was saying. Like you have to be able to sit up here and grow with that person through whatever changes, because some people might see that as it's a problem within our relationship. You feel me? And not just that person is going through something on their own. So they might be quick to sit up here and be like, all right, I see we ain't working out, and they sit up here and dip. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. You got to get to that level of maturity within your relationship. Some people don't get that.
I've been on both sides.
Yeah.
I've been on both sides, definitely, in those
No,
relationships.
I understand. I understand what you're saying. Like I said, I feel like I'm definitely for me personally, I gotta see certain things within a person to decide whether, you know what I'm saying, like, for example, I've only had 3 serious relationships. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a relationship person that's gonna just do that aimlessly. So like, if I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna make sure, like, at least you're willing to, like, I gotta see you do that once before I get to a relationship with you. You know what I'm saying? And maybe I'm not even on your testing stuff, but just naturally, I'm gonna get mad when we're talking. I might naturally be irrational one time while we're talking, 2 times. You know what I'm saying? I might do something that might not make sense one time when we're talking, and it might take for you to be willing to be like, man, like, what's really going on, Mark? Or what's really happening? And I gotta see that. You know what I'm saying? Or vice versa. Like while you're talking, while you're getting to know somebody, you're gonna see certain things. You gotta be able to realize throughout those things, hey, it's gonna be a day where you pull up on somebody, they're gonna be mad, they're gonna be irrational, they're gonna be doing stuff that's gonna be like, what's going on? Or you're gonna have to uncover some layers. But it's gonna also be a time where you're gonna pull up and that person's not gonna be willing to do that at all. They're gonna be like, why you mad? You got an attitude, man, F you, I'm leaving. And that's the person that you realize they're not willing to uncover those layers. This ain't the person that I can get your relationship with. They on some whole other stuff. They just trying to have fun, or this not the person that I'm on that level with. And that's okay too. But you can see certain things about a person like that before you actually take that relationship step.
Right.
Like, I'm not gonna take that step without seeing, hey, like, are you willing to deal with me on that level? Like, hey, like I said, if I'm mad, are you gonna just be mad at me? Are you gonna get mad at me for getting mad? You know what I'm saying? Are you gonna get mad at me for being frustrated? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you gonna get mad at me for being upset about something that has nothing to do with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, or are you gonna try to communicate with me and like ask me, am I okay, or let me be, or, you know, like whatever that might be. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that goes back to finding out, because like, I've been maybe in a state of depression while I was talking to somebody, and she made it her business to kind of find out what the hell was going on. Like, hey, you tripping, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, you tripping, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, matter of fact, before me and my ex got together, I was going through something like that. And she was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on with you? Because I kind of got to a point where, like, I was kind of getting shaky in the communication. I was not talking to her as much. And, you know what I'm saying? She was like, you know, you tripping. You know what I'm saying? And so what's going on? And I was like, well, nothing. And, you know, she's like, well, no, it's definitely something. Uncovering layers. You know what I'm saying? Like, not allowing me to just brush her away. Not allowing that to just be like, you know, but that's something I saw way before we got together. You know what I'm saying? And that's something I had to see.
You know what?
It wasn't something I was trying to do. I wasn't trying to make her do that. I wasn't being like a butthole and like, but like naturally that happened. And I saw like after I saw like, damn, like she's willing to like she's willing to get that out of me. You know what I'm saying? My bad, bro.
It's all good.
Yeah.
All I was gonna say is, I mean, really, you got to be able to kind of want to do that for yourself in a way. And if you really want to be in a serious relationship or whatever, I mean, even if it's a situationship where y'all just cooling it, you know, y'all going on dates, whatever, you really got to be able to want to uncover those layers yourself, or it's not going. You know, you're gonna be struggling in your own life outside of a relationship, and it's just like, I mean, I don't know.
True.
No, that's real. That's real. And I mean like I'm talking like situational layers too.
Yeah.
Like and like cause like when you got like problems going on as personally, like yeah, I'm just saying like when you come home mad from work, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm talking about. You come home mad from work, you know what I'm saying? You just got a weird disposition, and you've been coming home mad like that for a week, you know what I'm saying? And she's been seeing that, you know what I'm saying? And like that should be something that she should uncover. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
like,
no.
You
I
feel what I'm
wasn't
saying?
disagreeing with you at all.
You know, you feel what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, at some point, like, hey, what's going on at work? Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to allow you to keep just going through that alone. Like, you know, I see you going through something, so what's up? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to allow you to just tell me nothing. Like, it's not nothing because I'm seeing it. It's something. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. You got to see that the person willing to take that extra step for you. You know what I'm saying? I feel like at a point before your relationship. You know what I'm saying?
And I think going back to what we were talking about earlier, I think that's a cutoff point for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I see that you're not really willing to dig deep at all, it's like, okay, I know I got to cut this off. And that's it. And I mean, me personally, I like to keep everything as simple as possible. I don't really like, you know, because that kind of brings confusion. It's like a relationship is nothing but pretty much a compromise. And that's any relationship. That can be a friendship. That can be anything. It's all a compromise. And if you're not willing to compromise with another person, you're not really ready for any relationship, whether it's a friendship or anything.
True shit. Big facts. All right, last one. why do y'all think people cheat? Like, why do you think cheating is a thing? And do you think it's easier to leave a relationship before cheating?
Oh, okay. Who's talking first? Because I got a lot to say about that.
We're gonna go around the table like this.
I probably got the least to say about this one.
Alright. So even though it was a high school relationship, I definitely did cheat on that person. It wasn't like multiple times I cheated on that person. It was just one time. But I guess being on that side of the fence. Hear me out.
Someone hit me out. Let's just listen.
This is a no judgment zone.
Exactly. So my reason for cheating on that person was great to me. Like when I say like perfect, like this is like Prince Charming damn near. You know what I mean? Anything I need, anything I want.
You cheated on Prince Charming?
I know, right? Dumb as hell. But no, hear me out. Hear me out. So when I cheated with the person I like cheated on him with, I didn't cheat on him because he wasn't doing something right. I more so was curious and was really liking this person, but then was second guessing, maybe rushing into a relationship. It wasn't that person was missing something or that they were inadequate for me or anything like that. It was just like, literally like a point where it was like, well, damn, maybe I should have, like you said, kind of stayed and explored my options and dated multiple people so that I wouldn't be in this position now where I'm hurting somebody's feelings or making them feel like not enough. So, like I said, personally, I cheated because it wasn't because I wasn't happy. I was very happy. I just
wasn't ready for commitment.
Yeah, and I like wanted it, but I knew I wasn't ready for it. But versus just like listening to myself, I chose to do something else, and that was like my lesson I had to learn. If you're not ready for something, don't commit to it because that's the worst investment ever. So I think that's why a lot of people cheat.
Okay, so I have a question. With that being said, why did you cheat and not just sit up here and leave and then go do what you had to do?
Because at the time, like I said, when I cheated with that person, it literally wasn't supposed to be anything. Like it literally was like somebody I was working with and I just started vibing with and we were friends and then hung out with them and then something happened and then I was like, oh fuck. And that's when like everything kind of like came full circle for me. It was like, you need to break up with that person because you are not ready for commitment because you don't know how to like responsibly care for somebody else's emotions because right now you know this is what you want to do. Like I said, I didn't go into the situation talk to that person like I'm finna cheat on this man, like blah blah blah. Like no, it was literally like, oh, this is just somebody I like became friends with, that I worked with, really vibe with, hung out with them, and something happened. It legit wasn't like premeditated to cheat. Like it just happened in the moment. So yeah, in theory, it could be a way to be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna break up with you, but like, why would I break up with somebody when I didn't expect to cheat on them?
Or not even that. My whole thing is, because I hear a lot of stories like that, like, oh, it just happened type stuff. And then if you're in a committed relationship, why would you put yourself in that position to even be tempted? Or why would you put yourself in that scenario?
So,
you feel me?
Okay, so I get what you're saying, but like I said, like this situation was like just us hanging out as a group of friends. We all went to the movies, and like I literally went like on my own thing and went out with that person. Like I said, it was no agenda to like cheat on them. It wasn't like I was potentially putting myself in a like situation that was going to jeopardize my relationship. It was literally like I was just hanging out with somebody, vibe with them, and like me being a human, instead of fighting temptation, it was like really hard to do. I ended up doing it, and then that's why I said like, okay, it's like you're not ready for a commitment because like you obviously at this point are able to do that a little too easy. So no, you don't need to do that. You need to just kind of like let that person down easily and like let them know and move the way you want to move. Like I said, it's easier said than done. I guess I get when people cheat. Like it's not that sometimes people are necessarily missing something from the person that they're with. But like you're a human. There's 7 billion people in the world. People are fucking attractive. People have fucking hormones. People have like sex drives. And sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes that's a battle you lose. And sometimes you act out on your hormones or your feelings by attraction. You're not anticipating on like hurting your significant other, but sometimes like it just happens. And like then you're in a situation in the aftermath of that where you're like, well fuck. You're not like trying to hurt that person. It's just like you just got feelings and you want to like put it out there and do stuff. I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's probably controversial. Probably is, but like, I don't know. Like,
no, I mean,
not controversial.
It's a very, it's a normal opinion. I mean,
shit happens literally. Like,
Yeah.
you could look at somebody like you're attractive and like vibe with them, and then tonguing them down somewhere, and next thing you know, something happened.
Well, like, ironically enough, like that's
Nah,
that's
I'm
not
not-
what happened. Like, I have cheated once, and I've been in 3 serious relationships. I have, not my last, but I did, and so. But nonetheless, when it happened, why it happened was kind of what she said. It wasn't like I was on some not ready for the type thing. It was like it was not supposed to happen. It was like, wow, that happened, and whoa, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, it was like some movie shit. Like it wasn't you should have a movie, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? You should have a movie, G. So I'm like, all right, bro, you know what I'm saying? So after this, it's like you sit on the edge of the bed, like, damn.
You know, it's crazy that you brought that up. It's like, you know how you was talking about how your dad, how he had women coming up to him all the time. And for some odd reason, it seems like when you're in a committed relationship, people approach you.
That was big facts.
Big.
With that type of energy.
Yeah.
So often.
Yeah.
It's like,
Real
People
talk.
like what they can't have.
Yeah, real talk
exactly.
though, real talk, bro. And that's another thing, bro. Like that's exactly what he's saying, bro. Like it's like a light comes off of you, a glow comes off of you, a sign over your head, like he's taking, and it's like, damn, bro. Like it's a lot more attraction. Like you get a lot more attention for no reason. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I think it is? I think it's like either like the hormones or like the pheromones change once you're in a committed relationship, and then people can just sense it, and it's just like, all right, cool. Like that's more attractive, but that's what I think
But like,
happens.
yeah, because like he said, people want what they can't have, and if you're in a committed relationship, that means that like you might be a good dude. You just might be somebody that I should like or something. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe somebody I should talk to or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, but obviously that don't mean that. But like, you know what I'm saying? That's how people think. Like, and more importantly, people want what they can't have. You know what I'm saying? So when they see like, oh, you taking, oh, I'm gonna come 10 times harder now.
I guess I will never I don't understand it. Like, I've never cheated before. I've been cheated on, but I just don't get it. It's like, how do you sit up here and put yourself in that situation and you know you're supposed to be in a committed relationship? I would think you would.
Sometimes the situation presents itself to you.
Yeah, literally. Like,
And I would think you would detour away from that. You feel me?
So here's my, alright.
You would.
Alright, my turn.
You
Like
would.
literally, I'm telling you from my
You would.
situation, you would.
You
but
definitely
it
would. Yeah, you
doesn't-
normally do, and you normally do. Like 99% of the time, you should. And you do.
Yeah.
But,
So, in my last relationship,
fuck it. I'm going there. Come on.
I mean, it's out there. I'm be honest.
Raw
What
honesty.
did you
Let's talk
say
about it.
earlier? What did you say earlier? I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna be me through and through.
I just kept it more
Is that what you
broad.
said?
I kept it more broad.
I feel you. I feel you.
everyone
My
goes-
last relationship.
Yeah. Not the
You
last.
know, I felt like I was giving much more than what I was receiving, and when I felt like I was communicating that it wasn't being addressed, and
Wait,
I wasn't looking for. Go ahead.
So say you felt justified for it? Is that what you're saying?
No. So just wait before you pitch for me. Before you lampoon me. So I wasn't looking for, I wasn't like, I feel like, I'm giving my all and I'm not getting shit back, and
I'm
I'm
about to
not
go get
happy,
this,
and I can't, I gotta beg, can I get some, like, and it's like, so I was just unhappy at that point. And then the opportunity presented itself, whereas, and I tried to like stay away from that, and it was like, I didn't, that was as far as it got. You know how women are, I can't, and the way I am, I can't hide anything, so right, that literally that didn't get anywhere, that didn't get physical at all. You feel me? Like, so, but it doesn't matter at that point. Exactly. It does not matter. So yeah, like I said, I was unhappy at that point, and I was doing what I felt like I needed to do to fix. You know, I always the broken down analogy of the car. You know, like if something's broke, you don't just, you know, if you get a flat tire, you don't throw away the car. You feel me? Like,
Exactly.
and
You
that's what you do. That's not what you do. So your mirror goes out and you keep it. You know what I'm saying? But where was I going with that? Yeah, I wasn't looking to, you know, I was unhappy, and I felt like I was taking the steps to fix that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, you know, like nothing was happening. And then that thing, you know, like this person was throwing themselves at me, you know, and they knew I was in a relationship, and I entertained that, you know, and that was enough, you know, to be cheating, you know. So
sometimes temptation can be.
I understand the problem. I don't view maybe talking to other people as cheating. It depends on the context of the situation. Like I said, dating with people.
see, I would have been okay. We would have been cool. Because I was like, that was my main defense. My main defense was like, we didn't do nothing.
I was talking to this person at work, texting them, sending them memes, things like that. The context of our conversation was never inappropriate.
You got a work husband.
Well, why did you start texting him?
You got a work husband.
Why did you start texting him?
But it was like it started
in
it started in a group chat and then like separate conversations.
No, that should not happen.
Okay, but hold on. It shouldn't happen. Okay, but like here's the thing. We say a lot of shit shouldn't happen. Like, I don't know, Trump shouldn't be president, but he's fucking president.
We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do this.
That's not your case.
Okay, no. Like I said, have I done it to anybody else I ever dated and things like that? No, because like I identified how that person would feel, and I really didn't like that feeling. I didn't like knowing that I made somebody I cared about who has only done good things towards me feel that way. So at that point, I was like, yeah, we're not gonna do that anymore, like you said. And I learned like you don't do that. You have a boyfriend. Don't be in a group chat with all your work friends, and then y'all separately somehow get each other's number and y'all having like mean conversations. But like I said, I don't know. It depends because I guess it's that thing too. Like when you're dating someone, like I have a lot of guy friends. Like I have a lot of guy friends. Like my closest best friends are guys, and most of the people I've dated, surprisingly, like they've never taken an issue with it. You feel me? They've never been like, okay, like, and I talk to them all the time. And I mean, so I guess that's why I'm kind of like, it depends on the context of this, like the conversation, like. Because I have guy friends.
Alternatively, I have a lot of female friends. I've had girlfriends that have no problem with it. I have had girlfriends that is the ultimate issue.
But it depends. It depends on your relationship, and it depends on like.
That's not the subject though. Having friends, opposite sex friends.
I was just adding that into it.
Okay.
I'm done. We're done. Sorry.
Did you just next question us?
Next question. She definitely did.
Right.
No, I just didn't want to get off the subject, but yeah. So, any last thoughts about the cheating before leaving a relationship or anything like that?
Oh. Nah, we can go. Next question. Because I don't say nothing else is going to get me treated at the stake.
Any last thoughts, comments about relationships in general before we move on to the sex segment?
Sex segment.
Or you get in a relationship where you try to love someone, you definitely need to just take that time to learn your love language by yourself. Learn what you need and what you're going to expect from somebody when you get ready to be in a relationship. That way you're not having all this toxic bullshit happening that's just constantly setting you up for failure every single time. Just take care of yourself first and learn how to do that comfortably before you decide to be in unison with someone and try to do that. Because it's much harder when you don't have it together and you're trying to do that, because then you're putting too much pull on your partner to do that.
I agree. Any last thoughts, gentlemen? Cheaters, pumpkin ears. Oh my God. Alright, that's part 1, guys. Stay tuned for part 2 of the sex segment. So make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHEART Radio at Black Energy and Truth, and also follow me on Instagram at BETPodcast. Okay? Thank you. Bye.
Bye.